Yo, look at that sky. Ooh wee, good gorgeous. Anyways, Chazai, selfie stick. It's not gonna be a long review. Um, let's see. Yeah, because I guess more face of Whistly. Anyways, I'm reviewing Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Washington. And I really freaking love this movie. I thought it was great. Definitely like a problem with like the 50s to like 70s movies that they're kind of slow, so like you have to be paying attention, and oftentimes I'm like multitasking, so sometimes I like be playing a game on another phone, or I'll like, I don't know, be listening to something and then watching something, so like sometimes I can enjoy a movie without necessarily having my full attention to it. But this one movie I think is a movie that I could have my full attention to. Actually, I'm changing that. Some parts of this movie is slow, which makes it kind of not enjoyable. But I think overall the movie has a steady story pace, a steady storyline that I think actually makes sense. James Stewart was really good in this, and you have Jean Arthur, who is also really good in this. It sucks that women still don't get the spotlight like they should be, but Jean Arthur was amazing. Arthur. It was written by Sidney Buchman, Miles Connolly, and the story was by Lewis R. Foster. I think this Jean Arthur was a highlight, and she was like, yeah, she's easily the highlight of the movie. She had the moral center, and she also had like, like the ingenuity, and the, like, she wasn't like a stagnant character. I feel like some of the characters, like, they were kind of caricatures, which is fine for being the 50s, 60s, but they were like kind of caricatures of themselves, and they didn't really have that cell of like, yo, this is a really good actor acting a really good character. It's just like, yo, I'm the freaking person who's supposed to be at this spot. I'm the person who's you're supposed to meet at the gate. I'm the freaking grumpy. There's a lot of stereotype, like archetype people in this movie, and which is kind of annoying. But anyways, Jean Arthur was amazing. James Stewart was also really good, but I think he was not as good as Jean Arthur. But he had the freaking chops. He had the freaking like George Clooney, freaking who's the guy who played in The Brutalist. Dang it, I forgot his name. But anyways, he just had the or like he had the I think who else does this was Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks was like, Tom Hanks like is a really good actor, but also he has the image, and he has the movements of a character that's like this like golden boy, good person that you can kind of just like really believe in without like investing a lot into the person or the character or the screen time and stuff like that. And I think James Stewart had the same thing, where it's like, as soon as you saw him on camera, you believed, they built it up in the movie, and then you believed in the character, and then you realized that the character had a really strong, good cause, and then you believed in the cause, you believe in the character, and like I think that's the thing that puts you from point A to point B in this film, and that's like sold it, and I think it makes it so freaking good of a movie, because you have Jean Arthur as kind of like the wingman, the supporting, the conciliary type character, and then you have this like positive godfather, James Stewart, Mr. Smith, just trying to like, be good, represent the best of the best of the best of the United States, and the vision and the idea of like fairness and equality and compassion, and like setting up a world and building a world and sustaining a world that helps the American people and the world, and just having a good life on as a byproduct and profit of that. And especially like as I'm America, it's just beautiful, like, because it's like I feel like it's few and far between nowadays where you see somebody like in politics who actually freaking cares and actually represents the people that they are supposed to represent. And there's so much of human motive and people who are ultimately self-serving, whereas there's not a lot of people who like can think about themselves, think about their family, their friends, and their own group of people, but also the world and other people, and to make the best decision for, like, you know, the people, like, you know. And I feel like this movie has a beautiful way of telling that story, where it's about the people, where it's about, like, you know, fighting for good, you know, and good not being good for the billion-dollar conglomerates or corporations. It's good for the people, you know. And I don't know, I feel like the ending is just amazing. The ending is like, you know, like, I think it's Burn Notice, where he's like, I remember I watched this one in Burn Notice when I was a kid, and I was like riding my bike, and I think I was racing my my twin brother, and then like I raced. I didn't really think about it. I saw a car coming, but I was like, I raced out in front of the car, because I remember in Burn Notice he was like, you have to be willing to do what no one else is willing to do. And like apparently that car almost hit me. That my brother told me, but I didn't know, because like I was listening to the advice. They were like, no one else was willing to risk their life to win this race, but like I was, you know. So I was thinking about that, but like, you know, it's like, yeah, you have to be willing to like. And there's also this book this audiobook about this this autobiography about this lady. I think it's called Jet Girl. She was like she drives the jet, air pilot or whatever for the jets in the military for a while. And one of the best, strongest lines in the whole autobiography was like, she's like, this is what we do, you know, we sacrifice our lives and we risk our lives for the greater good of the American people and stuff like that. And she's like, you have to be willing to sacrifice. Like, that's part of freedom, is like sacrifice. And I think, like, even though it's more of a grounded story, there's a beauty. There's that same beauty in this movie that's portrayed in a clear view, where it's just like, you have to fight for freedom. It's not something that's guaranteed, you know. And the moment you stop, you lower your defenses, some foe, some enemy, some evildoer, or someone with bad intentions is going to try to, you know, seize control and seize power to do their own will. It's like, you have to, like, you have to be good. And like, if you're good and you want to keep everything good, like, you have to fight for it. And this movie does a beautiful job of, you know, of saying that without like this over complex story. It's just like, you know, it's like one man versus the world type thing. In this case, one man versus like a powerful billionaire, you know. And yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I think this movie is really, 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 really powerful. Definitely up there with the classical powers of like 12 Angry Men and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and To Kill a Mockingbird and things like that, where it's just like a timeless classic that holds true. The only problem, I think this movie is a little bit slower, and there's not enough like interesting characters, like actors. I mean, like they're a little bit caricatures. You could have had better actors and more of a consistent story. But I think overall, the story was really good. I had a really good time watching this movie. Definitely gonna watch it again, and I just feel like we need more people who care a whole lot, and you know, and there's just like, I feel like there's this idea that like, if it's good, like if something is good or you are good, you can't be like righteous and like fight, you know. But that's like the exact opposite. You have to fight like crazy. Like, you have to fight like hell to hold on to freedom, because if we stop fighting, if we stop speaking up, if we stop saying what we see, if we stop hearing things, you know, and speaking about it, you know, if we stop communication and sharing information between good people, you know, then bad people like are always gonna like be malicious and like, they're always gonna be wired to do bad. So good people, always wired to do good, have to take action to sustain freedom and being good. Anyways, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Definitely check it out. You can also like not watch it all directly. You can just kind of like be on your phone and watch it on TV or whatever like that. But it's still a really good movie. I think people should watch. Anyways, yo, I'm out of here. Anyways, 'tis Iowa Sleep. Haha, bye.